Hey YouTube, how's it going? Kevin Cleary here with a quick first impressions video for you on the LionSteel KUR. I've had this blade for just about a day and a half now and wanted to go ahead and share with you some of my first impressions. Let's very quickly go through the specs. I know you're going to hear this again when I go into the full review, but this knife is 8 and 3/16 overall. That's a little more than 8 and 1/8. It has a 3 and 7/16 inch blade, so just less than 3.5 inch blade, and a 4 and 3/4 inch handle. Okay, there you go. You can see it's fairly thick in the handle, a little more than 1/2 inch, and it weighs in at 5.6 ounces. So that's fairly heavy, but when you look at how thick the blade stock is and how much G10 you've got here, full tie back spacer, it is milled out. I think you should be able to see that right there. See the fairly substantial milling on those nested liners. Okay, so they have at least made an effort to keep this knife lightweight, but it is fairly hefty still at 5.6 ounces. So let me quickly run down the features with you and just give you the main thing that's really standing out to me about this knife right now. So we have a full flat ground Sleipner steel blade, drop point, beautiful crown spine, and a very, very nice sort of polished stonewash. Extremely nice looking blade. We have bearing pivot system, very nicely milled and textured G10, jimping here on the back that actually is functional, even though it's just a very short run of jimping. Nested stainless steel liners, titanium backspacer, and a wire pocket clip. Really, so we got, really nice features. But the main thing I've got to tell you that stands out to me, now that I've given you kind of a quick rundown of what you're getting here, is the fact that just every surface on this knife is exactly as it should be. It's one of those knives where it just feels like the people over at LionSteel put a lot of thought and a lot of time and a lot of energy into every component. Everything your hand touches, whether it be the texturing here on the liner lock, whether it be these really cool, look at the screws. And not only is it the screw itself that, you can tell there was some attention to detail there, but if I bring this a little closer to you, check out how that G10 has actually been milled to accommodate those screws. And they had to actually mill it a little bit differently on one side than the other. So just extremely well done. Everything about this knife, as you sort of go over it and as you look at it and examine it, it just screams attention to detail and perfect precision construction. And that's something that, as a knife guy, that stands out to me. That's something that I just love to see in a blade, and it really excites me when, this knife, there's nothing extremely exceptional about this. I mean, it's a G10 liner lock, although it is a good, better blade steel than you're going to see on a lot of things. The Sleipner steel is good, but there's nothing that would, by the numbers alone or just by the description, if I said, hey, a G10 liner lock, you think of any number of knives. However, the way this one is implemented and the thought processes that have clearly gone into this, it just make it an absolutely exceptional knife. It is more affordable than a lot of other LionSteel offerings. And it did win Blade Show Knife of the Year, or at least the color changing one did. And that does frustrate me a little bit. The color change feels like a bit of a gimmick to me, which is kind of sad because this knife does not need a gimmick. It is phenomenal. Honestly, every time I pick this knife up, I'm just impressed by the quality and the precision and the perfection of it. I'll comment further on that, of course, when we get to a full review. But I've got to say, guys, really, first impressions are outstanding. This may be my favorite LionSteel that I've ever owned. Just extremely well done. All right, so there you go, guys. That's my first impression on the LionSteel KUR. Look forward to the full review coming up probably in a few weeks. Talk to you later.